silver, the Lone Ranger rides again. Let me tell you a story. A story that begins many years in the past. In the days before I became known as the Lone Ranger. When I was riding against outlaws and desperados in the company of 6 men, led by my older brother, Captain Dan Reed of the Texas Rangers. The Texas Rangers, upholding justice and fair play in a West mostly untamed, unknown. We were in pursuit of a band of outlaws led by a man named Butch Cavendish, and a gang that had been causing trouble throughout the territory, terrorizing farmers, shooting up towns, rustling cattle, burning and pillaging their way through the countryside. We'd been on the trail for almost a week, still not a sign.
Rangers, hold! We'll stop here for a while, men. Dismount. I don't know about you, brother, but I'm a little saddle weary.
I'll second that.
Borrow your canteen? I'm empty.
Sure, Dan.
That's what I needed.
Captain Reed, rider coming up from the north.
Stand ready, men.
You sure in a hurry?
Bent for leather. Hold up, stranger.
Texas Rangers. Sight for sore eyes, I tell you.
Who are you?
Collins the name. I'm a miner. Butch Cavendish and his gang been through this way. Killed my partner.
Cavendish? How long ago?
Less than an hour.
Can you tell us which way they were headed?
Tell you more than that. They're camped not far from here. I can show you.
All right, men, mount up. Rifles at ready. Check sidearms. Okay, Collins, lead the way. Hold! Long last, brother.
I don't know, Dan.
Don't know what.
This Collins, something about him rubs me the wrong way.
Keep an eye open.
You think he's telling the truth?
It's a chance we take. Anyway, 6 Texas Rangers ought to be able to take care of Butch Cavendish and his boys, if they're there.
They were there, all right, but not where we expected.
Butch!
Yeah.
I see Collins about a mile away. He's leading the whole troop of Rangers right into the pass.
Let me see. Yeah, now there's a pretty sight for you. They'll pass right under our noses. Yeah, I sure am looking forward to this.
Dan, I'm not so sure about this. That path up ahead.
You worry too much.
This Collins, he came out of nowhere.
But he might be leading us somewhere. Look, brother, the Ranger doesn't back down from a fight. Either we win or we lose. I think we'll win. However, in case we shouldn't, in case I don't come out of it all right, I want you to see to my wife and son.
Don't talk like that, Dan.
You'll like Linda. She's a fine girl from a good family back east. Of course, I haven't even met little Dan yet.
What do they do in Fort Laramie?
Wagon train was due yesterday, so if anything does happen, brother, well, you know what to do.
Though I still felt uneasy, I said no more about it. As we approached the pass, I could almost feel the eyes watching us on the rocks above.
Here they come, boys. Get set. Now, don't nobody fire until I say so. Not yet. Now, hold it a minute. Let Collins drop back. Yeah, there he goes. Now!
It was a massacre. 2 of the Rangers were hit before they could even get off a shot. The rest of us dismounted and ran for cover. But cover was scarce. Cavendish and his gang were up in the high crags overlooking a dead-end canyon known as Bryant's Gap. Collins had led us in like blind mice, following the Pied Piper. I watched another Ranger fall, and then it was my brother's turn. Dan! Dan!
Linda! Remember? Linda. And my son.
I was alone then, the last survivor. And looking up, I saw Butch Cavendish grinning down from the high rocks. I raised my revolver, aimed, missed. It was the last bullet I had. And then I was hit. Everything became white, very white, and I pitched forward to the ground. I wasn't unconscious. I could still hear. I didn't know whether I would live, but I lay very still, waiting, listening, unmoving. holding my breath.
That all of them?
6, that's the lot.
Make sure they're all dead.
They're dead, all right.
Okay, spring their horses. Let's get out of here.
After they left, the sun beat down without mercy. The temperature climbed steadily and my pulses hammered, then weakened, and finally I lost consciousness. When I awakened, it was night, and somebody was bathing my face.
Kimasabi.
Get away! I'll kill you!
Kimasabi, please, easy, Kimasabi.
Kimo-sabe?
Please, Tonto, do not be afraid, Kimasabi. You will be well. Tonto will take care of you. Now, rest, Kimasabi.
Kimo-sabe. In the Potawatomi tongue, it means trusted scout. A name that had been given to me many years before by a childhood friend. A member of the Potawatomi tribe called Tonto. And now he was here, at Bryant's Gap. His healing hands nursing me back to a life I had given up. How long have you been here, Tonto?
From sunset, I hear gunfire echo through hills. Ride hard to find reason.
Cavendish. What's Cavendish?
Rest, Kimasabi. You must gather strength.
My brother Dan and the others. Tonto. My brother. The other rangers.
Dead, Kimasabi.
All.
All, Kimasabi.
For 3 days, Tonto stayed with me, helping me gain strength little by little, removing the bullet from my chest with a sharpened arrowhead, applying age-old Indian remedies to the wound, preparing strong tea from the local herbs and feeding me from the land. At last, the life flowed back into my veins. In the days I had been sleeping or delirious, Tonto had buried my brother Dan and the other 4 rangers. Now I saw him digging a 6th grave. What are you up to, Tonto?
I think, Kimasabi, when others find only 5 graves, they know one Texas Ranger escaped. They look for him.
Good thinking, Tonto. You're right. Butch Cavendish and some of his cohorts know me by sight.
When they hear of 6 graves, they believe you dead.
And they'll never suspect I'm alive enough to get every one of them. You know, Tonto, maybe it would be best if I wore a disguise of some sort.
A mask?
Yes, a mask. I'll leave my identity buried in this grave. From this time on, I ride as a ghost of Bryant's Gap, the last ranger. The Lone Ranger. I was ready to start the chase then and there, but Tonto persuaded me that I needed more rest, more time to heal. So we headed for the silver mine that my brother Dan and I had discovered a few years before. Once there, I asked Tonto to go on to Fort Laramie, find my brother's wife and small son, and bring them to the mine. When he'd left, I sought out Jim Fawcett, an old friend and retired ranger. This is where you'll live if you decide to work with me, Jim.
I'm in. You know that.
The entrance to the mine is right here, behind that door.
Well, neat a hiding place that I've ever seen. Nobody's ever suspected. Does she produce?
Plenty of silver down there. Jim, half of whatever you bring out belongs to my brother's wife and son. As for the rest, we'll go half and half. All I'll be needing is enough to get along on while I'm after Cavendish.
The wife and boy, they're at Fort Laramie?
Tonto will be bringing them here.
How old's the boy?
Less than 6 months. Dan never even got to see him before he died. One more thing, Jim. I want you to make me a supply of silver bullets.
Silver bullets?
An idea I thought up when I was lying close to death in Bryant's Gap. You might say they'll be my calling cards. Reminders to Butch Cavendish and every criminal in the West that they haven't been forgotten. And that they'll be defeated.
You'll have as many as I can produce in a 16-hour day, Reed. And you can bet on that.
Check that, Jim.
It's like Tonto.
Only one horse? You alone?
Yeah.
Kimasabi, the wagon train.
Say it, Tonto.
Butch Cavendish and a band of renegade Apaches, they
Say it.
raid wagon train. They burn, shoot, kill.
Linda? Linda and the boy?
I not know. Some say all killed. Some say perhaps Apaches take captors. I find this on broken trunk in ruins.
A nameplate. Reed. Reed. Linda. And the boy. Just a baby.
Kimasabi.
Let him be, Tonto. Let him be for a minute. A minute to think, feel.
I not let him go alone. Kimasabi.
I ride, Tonto.
I ride with you, Kimasabi.
Get started on those bullets, Jim.
There'll be plenty whenever you need them. And good luck, Lone Ranger.
It was a little place called Pandale. Not much to look at as western towns go. A hotel, a general store, a church, a school, and of course a jail. Tonto and I were there to pick up some supplies. And as we left the general store, it was the local jailhouse that drew our attention. As Tonto and I walked toward the group of angry men gathered before the jail, we were just passing strangers.
You think necktie party, Kimasabi?
Sure appears to be one, Tonto.
You turn that lawman over, Sheriff. We aim to see justice done.
Now, you all listen to me. Your kind of justice don't hold no water here. You'll get Hunk McNeil over my dead body.
And it's his dead body. Right, boys?
I say let's get him now! String him up!
Let's get this over. Get the rope ready, boys.
That was just a warning. I'm still the law here, and I'm telling you once more. Go home. Hunk McNeil will get his justice when the circuit judge gets here and holds court.
He's right, boys. Go on home.
What right you got to butt in on this, stranger?
More right than you fellas have to take the law into your own hands. Mind if I join the party, Sheriff?
Welcome, stranger.
There's only two of them, boys. What are we waiting for?
You're mistaken, mister. There's three of us. Just look behind you and you'll see my Indian blood brother, Tonto. Now, let me tell you about Tonto. He's mighty fast on the draw and a dead shot with that rifle. I know because I caught him myself.
And how fast are you, mister?
I reckon I can hold my own.
Well, let's see about that. I'm drawing.
He didn't even get his gun out of the holster.
If I were you, I'd go get on home and put a bandage to that hand, mister.
I'll get you for this, stranger.
Anybody else?
Never seen a faster draw. Quicker, you can blink an eye.
Too fast for me.
Let's go now. Come on.
Don't know how to thank you, stranger.
Glad to be of help, Sheriff.
Kimasabi, you give me no chance to see how fast I draw.
Next time, Tonto. Say, Sheriff, this Hunk McNeil, is he your man?
I'm not sure.
Mind if we talk to him?
Come on in. This here stranger just saved your life, Hunk. Yeah, I saw through the window. Thanks.
What's the charge, Sheriff?
Robbery and murder. Pandale Bank. One of the tellers was killed. I didn't do it. I swear I didn't. You'll have plenty opportunity to swear in court, Hunk.
What's your story, boy?
I teamed up with two fellas on the Pecos Trail. They said they were headed for Del Rio and I could ride with them. Well, some 5 miles later, they laid me out cold. When I woke up, there was this posse, and they was accusing me of robbery.
There was banknotes on them, and a rifle like the one was seen in the bank.
They planted it, I swear.
What were their names? The two you teamed up with?
I don't know. Their last names, I mean. One called himself Mike. Big guy with a heavy beard. The other one was the Whistler.
The what?
The Whistler. Whistling all the time. Some crazy tune.
You say Pecos Trail to Del Rio. You sure they go on that way?
Search me, mister. After they caught me, I don't know which way they went.
We see. You aim to go after them fellers?
Maybe.
How do you know he's telling the truth?
We don't, do we? Come on, Tonto, let's go. Tonto and I headed for the Pecos Trail, and sure enough, we picked up the hoof prints of the posse that had brought Hunk McNeil into Pandale.
See, over here, Kimasabi. Posse trail go north. But here, only 2 horses lead this way.
South,
They get to Del Rio, only a short ride to Mexico.
where the law can't touch them. Let's ride, Tonto. Hi-yo, Silver! Away! They must have been riding hard because when dusk began to settle, we hadn't caught up and the trail was still old. The hoof prints hardened.
Hey, plenty ahead of us.
It'll be dark soon. We'll lose the trail.
White man lose trail. Red man never.
Bragging again, Tonto?
Old Indian saying, when in dark, follow nose.
Okay, Tonto. I'll follow your lead. Maybe it was Tonto's sense of smell. Maybe it was Indian lore. Maybe a sixth sense. I'll never know for sure, but we trailed in the darkness of a canter, hour after hour, until in the blackness of night.
Oh, Scout.
See something?
Too dark.
Smell something?
Fire.
It escapes me.
Listen.
Don't hear a thing.
Shh. Use ears. Listen, Kimasabi. You hear?
No.
Listen.
I'll take your word for it.
They leave trail here. We dismount. You follow me, Kimasabi.
Easy, Silver.
This way.
I hear it now. The whistler.
Come. There, fire. See now?
I see it. Let's split up, Tonto. I'll take them front, keep them in from behind.
Old Indian custom.
I'll palaver. You step in when things get rough.
Also Indian custom. Back, Kimasabi.
Luck to it, brother. They weren't sitting ducks. The big one with a beard had a rifle across his knees. His face was mean and dark in the light of the campfire. The whistler was long and thin and bore a livid scar across his forehead. They both looked dangerous. I crept up in the darkness and waited for Tonto to gain his position.
Shut up.
What?
Shut up that crazy whistling.
Sure.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you for the last time.
Sure. I'm sorry, boss. I'll shut up.
You're driving me out of my mind.
When we split up at Del Rio, you won't have to suffer anymore.
You don't shut up tonight, you'll suffer a bullet through your gut. Now that did it. That did it. I'm gonna...
It wasn't me.
Evening, gents.
Stand steady, mister.
I'm not moving.
Who are you?
Just a stranger passing in the night.
What's behind the mask, mister?
Eyes, and they tell me I found what I'm looking for.
What are you talking about?
Those are bank tags, if I'm not mistaken.
You stay away from them.
Got the Pandale Bank written all over them. What do you know? And if I'm not further mistaken, they're full of gold and banknotes.
Okay, stranger, you asked for it.
Let me handle it, Mike.
Go ahead, and be quick about it.
You didn't whistle that time, partner.
I don't always whistle. Only when I'm nervous. Killing calms me down, like now.
I can whistle, too.
Not when a slit throat, you can't.
Listen to this one.
Toto!
Tonto dropped the whistler like a sack of potatoes. But then he was up, and the bearded one was on his feet, waving the rifle, and Tonto and I had work to do.
Sorry, Kimasabi.
It's a wicked punch.
I mistake you in dark for bearded one.
He's out, and so is the other. Now let's get these two hog-tied and run them back to Pandale. I've an idea Hunk McNeil will be glad to see them.
And the bank get back its wampum.
That, too. Of course, Hunk McNeil was a lot more than happy when we rode into Pandale with Big Mike and the Whistler in tow. After the two were locked securely in the cell and the money had been returned to the bank, Tonto and I finished up buying our supplies. We were just about to mount Silver and Scout when we noticed the commotion outside the jail.
Looks like more necktie party, Kimasabi.
Not again. Come on, Tonto. Got your hands flicking, Sheriff?
Howdy, stranger. They're aiming to string up Big Mike and the Whistler. You got no call button in here, stranger.
I see your right hand's on a bandit. Roll with your left, too.
I ain't fixing to fight you.
You're just aiming to string up two men without a trial, right? Two men who can't fight back.
They're guilty as all get out.
That's not the point.
What do you mean that ain't the point?
I mean the law of the gun and the law of the rope is no law at all. There's a new law in the West, and it says every man accused of a crime is entitled to a trial.
But just look at the evidence.
That evidence will come out in court, and justice will have its day. Now, aren't you boys ever going to learn? You almost strung up an innocent man.
You can't fault him that.
Now, I suggest you fellas go on home. When the judge gets here, here, you'll have a trial, and justice will be done. What do you say?
Let's go, boys. No sense stringing them up. Straight as line. Maybe the ride. Okay.
Well, Sheriff, maybe they're learning.
Hope so. Buy you fellas a cup of coffee?
No thanks, Sheriff. We'd best be on our way.
Easy, Scout. Say, stranger, what's your name?
Why not just call me Stranger? Let's ride, Tonto. So long, Sheriff.
Well, I'll be damned. That must have been the Lone Ranger.
And as evening fell, we spied a glowing campfire and smelled good brewing coffee. We drew rein and said howdy to the young cowhand who sat beside the glowing embers. He was a friendly sort, generous to a fault, and he invited us to sit and share coffee and grub with him. He was from Laredo, and his name was Tex, and he had a tuneful guitar and a mighty fine voice. That sure soothes the heart, Tex. Thank you.
When the gods of darkness descend, music is a light to see by.
Thank you, gents. More coffee? Don't mind if I do. How many head of cattle you tending here, Tex? About 100. It's a small ranch.
What name might go by?
The Lazy Horseshoe.
Good name for ranch. I like.
Owned by Cal Peters and his daughter Linda. Nice folks. How far away is the Lazy Horseshoe? About 5 miles. Grayson ain't as good closer.
This open range?
Yep. I was telling Miss Linda about that only a few days ago. Rustlers. Oh, them ain't rustlers. They're stampeding the herd again. Ooh, renegade Indians. Let's go. Out there to the east.
Up, Scout.
Right, Silver. Trying to halt and turn a stampede of 100 head of cattle at night is no mean job. You want a good horse under you, a reliable partner who won't stumble or lose his head. We used our guns, our hats, our voices, every conceivable trick we knew with a horse. Luckily, the moon was bright, so things stood out and we could maneuver and dodge the thundering herd. Off in the distance, I could see a small band of Indians disappearing over a rise. They were too far away to give chase, and we had our hands full with the herd. Slowly, we got them under control, and finally we had turned them around. They were docile now. We had to be careful.
Wasabi, the young cowboy. He's hurt.
Tex, my legs. Help me, will you? Help me. Tex had been thrown and run over by the herd. One of his legs was broken and the other didn't look too good. We put a splint on the broken leg and in the morning tied him over his horse and started the slow drive back to the Lazy Horseshoe. Once there, a doctor was called, and while we waited for him, we had a powwow with the owners of the ranch, Cal Peters and his daughter Linda.
Indians? You saw them?
I sure did, Mr. Peters. I'll back that up. Saw them myself.
Haven't been any Indians in these parts for years.
But they're Cheyenne, I tell you. That's the second time they stampeded your herd in a month.
No Cheyenne, no Indian.
Why, Tonto?
No Cheyenne use rope like this. No Indian ride with spur like this.
Where'd you find these, Tonto?
Where cattle stampede.
He's right. They weren't Indians.
Then who did it? Who would want to stampede your cattle, Miss Peters?
Matt Matthews.
Now, we have no proof of that, Linda.
Well, who do you think's doing it, Dad? You know what he thinks about us and about the rangeland down there.
Who's Matt Matthews?
Owns a spread up north of us. The Big M, he calls it. He owns most of the land to the east and west, too. But he wants more. Always wants more and more. That's Matt Matthews. Wants everything. Been trying to scare us off our land for 2 years.
He stampede your cattle on open range?
Matt Matthews will do anything to drive us off so he can graze his own herds down there.
What do you think, Tex? I saw Indians.
You haven't been in these parts long enough, Tex. If there are any Indians at all, they're perfectly friendly.
Miss Linda, I saw Indians, and I'm telling you...
When are you going to stop calling me Miss Linda?
Miss, Peters.
The name's Linda, Tex.
What do you think, Mr. Peters?
I'm thinking I'm going to lose me a daughter pretty soon. Oh, you mean about Matt Matthews? Well, I wouldn't put it past him.
Look, Mr. Peters, I suspect Tex here is going to be laid up for some time yet. Since you're short-handed, how about taking Tonto and me on the ride range for a while?
Well, that's mighty kind of you.
No need to pay us twice. We'll act as one man. Right, Tonto?
Right, Kimasabi. You play us a song on guitar, Tex?
Glad to, Tonto.
Just let me get my guitar.
Say, Miss Linda, where does the Big M lay in relation to you?
Right here. See on the map?
So to get to South Rangeland, must ride through this canyon.
That's right.
Longhorn Canyon. Pretty narrow, isn't it?
You can get maybe 2 riders through at a time.
Interesting. Kimasabi?
Very. A few nights later, with the moon high and almost full, Tonto and I were staked out at Longhorn Canyon. Earlier in the day, we'd led the Peterson herd through to the grazing land. They were happy and quiet, and we knew they'd stay put. As dark descended, we cut a tree and laid the heavy trunk across the south end of the canyon. Now, up on the north end, we had another trunk ready to be lowered by rope, and we were waiting.
Maybe they not come tonight. Very cold.
Then we wait the next night, and the next.
You patient man, Kimasabi. Me just cold.
Sounds like things might warm up, Tonto. Listen. They swept into the canyon like a whirlwind, riding hard, whooping like Indians. Their feathered headdresses flew in the wind, their upraised arms brandishing rifles. They sure look like Cheyenne.
Oh, self-respecting Cheyenne might settle and wear spurs.
We'll soon know. They're reaching the tree at the end, Tonto. Now, Tonto, the other tree. Let's go to the left. All right, down there. Stand steady.
Who's that? Up there, man!
Oh, my hand!
I told you not to move.
Okay, partner. What goes?
You tell him.
You in deep trouble. Big Chief Tomahawk has your face. You trapped in canyon, way up here in dark behind rocks. You have no way escape. You look like members of tribe sitting ducks.
In other words, throw down your arms.
Who says?
The Lone Rangers say.
And hurry up about it. That's better. Okay, Tonto, let's hog-tie these critters. They were a forlorn-looking bunch of fake Indians as we led them back through the canyon and in the direction of the nearest marshal. Their leader, a red-bearded man with steely blue eyes, rode second from point behind Tonto. There was something familiar about him. You must be Big Chief Matt Matthews.
Don't annoy me, Ranger.
You annoy me, though.
Tough.
You annoy me because I think I've seen you before, but the name doesn't fit. Maybe I never knew your name.
You've been drinking too much cactus juice, Ranger.
Still in all, I'm sure. Hold it. Hold it, Tonto.
What's the matter with you?
Bryant's Gap.
What?
Bryant's Gap. Years ago.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Kimasabi.
How many years has it been, Tonto? I've lost count. But my memory for a face doesn't fail me. Take a good look, Tonto. Matt Matthews rode with Butch Cavendish at Bryant's Gap.
All right, Ranger. Go ahead and kill me if it'll do your heart good. I ain't scared.
No, Matthews, I'm not going to kill you. Maybe the law will, but not me. We'll just get you to the authorities. Even a man like you is entitled to a trial.
You show great mercy, Kimasabi. Myself, I would wonder.
I'm wondering too, Tonto. But we'll leave it to the law. Tell me something, Matthews. Where's Butch Cavendish?
I ain't seen him for 2 years.
Think again.
I'm telling you, Ranger, I ain't seen him. I swear. I'll swear on a stack of Bibles.
You would. Okay, Tonto, let's move. We found out later that his name wasn't really Matt Matthews. It was Ned Slocum. He was wanted in 3 states, and the law was glad to get its hands on him. After he was safely in jail, Tonto and I returned to the Lazy Horseshoe.
You sure you two won't stay on?
No, thanks, Mr. Peters. Tonto and I have work to do.
We don't know how to thank you, folks.
Before we go, one favor.
Anything you say.
The darkness of night descends. The campfires will be lit.
I get it, Tonto. You want music. What'll it be?
As you choose.
Here's a favorite of mine.
Butch Cavendish is out there someplace, Tonto. We're finally coming closer.
Yes, Kimasabi. There is much badness in the world.
We'll get moving soon.
And there is goodness too. Music is good. And a man must rest sometimes and gather his strength again.
Yes, Tonto. I understand. Silver had thrown a shoe, and Tonto and I stopped at a blacksmith's on the edge of a little town named McKean. The establishment was called Cullum & Son, and the youngster at the anvil must have been the son. He was quick, and he was expert.
That ought to do it, mister.
Nice job, son. Look at this, Tonto.
Him, fine blacksmith.
Name's Collum. Jed Collum.
Pleased to know you, Jed.
Say, mister, if you don't mind my asking, what's the mask for?
Oh, that. Well, sometimes the sun gets to me. This shades the eyes a bit.
Uh-huh.
How much do we owe you, Jed?
Oh, why don't we say $5?
Fair enough. Right, Tonto?
Heap fair.
Hold on there. That'll be $15, not 5.
You, Mr. Cullum?
Heck no. This ain't my father. This is Clem Naughton. What's the joke, Clem?
No joke, Sonny. I'm managing this shop now. Your dad went and lost it to Ace Fountain down at the casino. Not 5 minutes ago.
He gambling again?
He was. Figure he's cleaned out by now. This here's the deed, see?
Yep.
And this here's where it says it was signed over to Ace Fountain.
I can read.
Well, mister, like I say, that'll be $15.
Prices get higher every day, don't they, Tonto? It didn't take Jed Cullum long to move his gear out of the shop, and Tonto and I rode with him into town. Behind us, Clem Naughton was hammering up a sign that said, Ace Fountain, Blacksmith. We passed more Ace Fountain enterprises as we moved along the streets. The Fountain Hotel, the Fountain Tonsorial Palace, the Fountain General Store, and last but not least, as we reined in and hitched our horses, the Fountain Casino. Ace Fountain's kind of big in this town, isn't he?
He owns it, mister. Lock, stock, and barrel.
You fine blacksmith. You should work shop.
Guess I'll have to. For Ace Fountain.
Your father likes to gamble, huh?
It's like a sickness. I only hope he didn't go and lose the ponies.
What ponies?
The 2 prize Palominos I showed you. Fountain's been trying to get them for a long time. Well, there's only one way to find out.
Oh, son, I guess I went and did it.
Guess you did, Pop. We'll be working for Ace Fountain now.
Now, don't you worry, son. We'll get the place back. Just you wait. One of these days, I'll have a streak of luck and...
Now, come on, Pop. You know you can't beat Ace Fountain at his own game. He don't even deal him fair.
He cheats?
Well, some say he does, some say he doesn't. Anyway, nobody's going to call his bluff. At least it won't me.
He's the deadliest shot in these parts, mister. And a fast draw on top of that.
Will he bet on it?
Ace will bet on anything.
Pop, what about the Palominos?
We still got them, son. Only I'm afraid we'll have to sell.
Tell you what, Mr. Cullum. My partner and I here are looking for some fine ponies. Suppose you sell them to us.
I don't know, stranger.
We pay top price.
What do you think, son?
I'd rather see these fellas get them than Ace Fountain. And you know, he'll get them sooner or later, just like he's got everything else in this town.
Okay, boys. How's about 200?
It's a deal. Tonto, will you pay the man and get the piece of paper?
Yes, Kimasabi.
Meanwhile, I think I'll get acquainted with Ace Fountain. Which one is he, Jed?
Over there, by the stove. The one keeps laughing all the time.
Well, there I'd been picturing Ace Fountain as a big, mean hombre with killer's eyes. Turned out he was a gentle-looking old man with white hair. And on top of that, he didn't have the use of his legs, and he sat in a wheelchair. Well, you can't tell a book by its cover, so they say. But if Ace Fountain was the fastest draw in town, there was a reason for it. He kept his holster strapped to the arm of his wheelchair, within an inch of his fingers.
You looking for somebody, stranger?
You, Ace Fountain?
That's what they call me. Say, what's the mask for? Now, you don't aim to hold us up now, do you? Wouldn't that be something, boys? A hold up at Fountain's Casino?
That's not what was on my mind, Mr. Fountain.
No? Well, I'm glad to hear it.
Thought maybe a little cards to pass the time.
You hear that, boys? Man wants to play cards.
Here, you're a betting man, Mr. Fountain.
You heard I was a betting man? Did you get that one, boys? All right, sit down, stranger.
Thanks.
Never let a stranger get away from here without him having himself a little fun. Now, what'll it be, boy? Draw, stud, deuces wild?
Little 5-card stud will suit me.
By all means. Cut. I don't know, boys. Can I afford it? Here's your 5, stranger, and I raise your 10.
It wasn't hard to lose to Ace Fountain. He was a shark. I didn't see any signs of his cheating, but something about the man put me off. He was just too arrogant, a man who had had his own way too often for too long a time. He was too defiant, too proud, and I aimed to take his pride down a peg. 10.
Up 15.
I'll see you, Mr. Fountain.
10s and 3s.
Beats me.
I tell you what, stranger. How about a little straight draw? I always figure that to be a better game.
I think you just about cleaned me out, Mr. Fountain.
Oh, now come on, stranger. You must have something left to put up. Like a little piece of land, maybe? A horse? You always give a fellow a chance to win a stake back. Right, boys?
Well, I don't have but a few dollars left, but if you're interested in ponies...
Ponies, you say?
Prize palominos. Just bought them from Mr. Colum over there.
Is that right, Pop? This fella buy them ponies from you? Well, what do you know? All right, stranger, what'll it be? Stud again? You name it.
Well, as you can see, I'm not too good at cards.
Cut the deck, then? That's an easy enough game for a tenderfoot like you.
Truth is, Mr. Fountain, only thing I'm really good at all is shooting.
Shooting? You hear that, boys? Shooting. This here fella's asking me to a shooting match.
Thought you were a betting man, Mr. Fountain.
Mister, you just lost yourself 2 prize Palomino ponies. Wheel me out to the street, boys. Let's show this fella what good shooting really is.
Outside the casino, the whole town came into the street to watch. We collected a lot of tin cans and bottles, and the shooting match was on. I chose Tonto for my assistant, and Ace Fountain had Clem Naughton.
Now, these here are the rules, stranger. You have your man throw a bottle into the air, and you shoot for it. Then me. First one to miss, he's lost. Savvy?
What's the bet, Mr. Fountain?
Them Palominos.
One at a time, okay?
Sure.
Against all the money I lost.
Sure. Now start shooting. We ain't got all day.
Ready, Tonto?
Ready, Commissary.
Throw.
Nice shooting, stranger.
Your turn.
Clem,
All set, Mr. Fountain.
let it go.
Even Steven. Again, Mr. Fountain?
Oh, this here's child's play, stranger. How about 2 at a time? 2 bottles in the air, same time.
Sure. I'll make it 3.
3?
If that's too many for you.
Too many. You hear that, boys? All right, Clem. Throw 'em up. 2 out of 3. Your turn, mister.
Tonto?
Ready, Commissary.
Reckon I'm even up, Mr. Fountain. Figure I'll just mosey along.
Now, hold on there, stranger. I'm shooting for them 2 ponies. All or nothing.
Against what?
You name it.
Well, what do you say to putting up that smithing shop on the edge of town?
Cullum's old place?
For the 2 ponies.
You're on. But this time you're going to lose, mister. 5 bottles. That's right, 5 bottles at one time.
Don't you figure they'll fall too fast?
All right, we'll make them tin cans.
Let's see you shoot, Mr. Fountain.
5 cans this time, Clem.
I got him.
Let them go.
Not bad, Mr. Fountain. 4 out of 5.
Your turn, stranger.
Tonto, anytime. Well, Mr. Fountain, guess your eye's not too sharp today.
Now, just a minute, mister. You don't get off so easy. I'm just warming up. Now, you see that hotel across the road?
The Fountain Hotel?
And this here gun holds 6 rounds. You game?
Well, it's your hotel. Or is right now.
6 cans, Clem. Get 'em ready.
Ace, you gone plumb out of your mind?
Let 'em go.
Well, that was some shooting match. Old Ace Fountain just wouldn't give up. With a man like that, you scratch his pride and he just loses his head. And Fountain lost more than that. By the time it was all over, he'd lost the hotel, the Tonsorial Palace, the general store, and the casino. And at the end of it, he just sat there in his wheelchair smiling at me.
Well, stranger, I gotta hand it to you. You're one fine shot.
You're
crying about it. Welcome to McCain, stranger. Looks like you owe most of it.
Tell you what, Mr. Fountain, I'll sell you back the hotel, the Tonsorial Palace, the general store, and the casino. Everything except the smithy.
Okay. Now, what do you want?
Will $50 be fair?
You're shaming me, mister.
No,
Yes, you are. Trying to teach me a lesson, you are. Well, maybe you did. But at the same time, I still got some pride left. For the hotel, the store, the Tonsorial Palace, and the casino, say, we'll make it 5,000. And son, you earned it.
Tonto and I rode out of town, and Jed Cullum and his father came as far as the blacksmith shop with us.
And say how grateful I am, stranger, who turned the deed to the shop back to us.
It's your work, Mr. Cullum, and your boys. You can't take a man's work away from him.
Can't say as Ace took it away from us. He weren't fair and square. But I learned me a lesson. And I'm through with gambling.
Gambling's a bad habit, Mr. Cullum.
Yep. So my boys been telling me. Right, Jed?
I don't mean to rub it in, Pop.
You'll keep up good work, young one. You're best blacksmith I see, and many more.
Thanks, Tonto. And you too, Ranger.
Ranger?
You didn't think that mask was fooling me, did you? I've heard about you for years, Ranger.
You follow Tonto's advice and keep up the good work. Maybe we'll see you again sometime. Let's ride, Tonto.
Up, Scout.
I'll Silver. Away!